6 things you didn't realize are killing your dog. Good afternoon, dear viewer. The most useful and interesting information just for you. I wish you all goodness, happiness, love and a peaceful sky. So let's go. Do you have a dog? If so, you would probably do anything for it. It's hard to resist those puppy dog eyes staring at you, especially when he wants something. Yes, the love for our pets is real. The problem is that we often do not realize that we are hurting our dogs. In many ways, their lives are hanging by a thread. Let's talk about 6 things you didn't know were killing your dog. Not getting the proper exercise? How was your diet? How important are vaccines for your pet? Wait, heartworms? What are those? If you care about your pets, this can be difficult to understand. Did you know that worms can get into your pet's heart? Disgusting, huh? Well, that's not even the half. Heartworm is a disease caused by parasitic worms. It can result in lung disease, organ damage, and heart failure. The worms enter the body through mosquito bites. As the infection spreads to the animal, the mosquito larvae begin to grow within the heart. From here, they can spread to the lungs and blood vessels. While this process occurs within 7 months, a fully grown worm can live within the dog for up to 7 years. Heartworms can grow up to 12 inches long. What's even scarier is that these worms will mate and spread their larvae. At the same time, your dog can have up to 250 worms living inside him. Sounds like a death sentence, right? Well, it can be if your dog is not treated on time. If your dog seems like he's having trouble breathing, he needs medical attention. Other symptoms include a harsh and persistent cough. If the dog is tired after mild activity, this could also indicate an unwanted visitor within his heart. When you get to the vet, one way they check for heartworm is through a blood test. This will detect possible proteins that female worms release into the bloodstream. The best way to treat heartworms is by preventing them. There are several heartworm products sold on the market, but they must be prescribed by a veterinarian. No vet visits. Like humans, animals need checks. If your dog is in good health, it is recommended to take him once a year for an annual physical exam. A puppy should have his first medical exam almost immediately after you receive it. During this exam, the vet will check his health and make sure they are free of parasites. Throughout their years, they must be brought in for certain types of checkups. When your dog reaches the 3rd age, which is usually after 7 years, veterinarians recommend that he come twice a year. This is because older dogs are much more vulnerable to health problems. The earlier these problems are detected, the easier it will be to treat them. While you likely won't get in trouble for not taking him to the vet, staying on top of your dog's health ensures that he will live a longer, happier life. It is also important to be aware of changes in your dog's behavior. The slightest changes can be signs of increasing health problems. This includes excessive salivation, shortness of breath, and increased water intake. If you ignore these signs, your dog is likely to have a shorter lifespan. Poor diet. This one is pretty obvious but still needs to be mentioned. If your dog does not eat properly, you can endanger his life. There are many poor quality dog foods on the market that your animal should stay away from. There is no single feeding schedule for dogs. When and how much you feed them often depends on several different factors. Regardless, vets recommend that you feed your dog at least twice a day. If your dog has any type of condition, he may require a special feeding schedule. If your dog is larger than the others, he likely requires more calories and more food. You also need to take into account the age of the dog. This is especially important for puppies, who are growing rapidly. Puppies need small feedings. At the same time, they need to be fed frequently. During the first few months of their lives, they will need small meals. For about 4 months, they need to be fed 3 times a day. But soon, they will only need 2. These feedings are for raising puppies through puppies. It helps their bones and organs. Feeding the dog incorrectly can cause sparse stools, frequent itching, inattention, and ear infections. Their kidneys and liver may even be damaged. If you are not sure how many dogs should be fed, consult a veterinarian or animal health professional. Lack of exercise. Yes, your dog needs exercise. I'm not talking about taking them to some kind of doggy gym. This can be as simple as taking them outside for a walk. If your dog has been indoors for an extended period, he will have a ton of pent-up energy. The animal will need a way to release that energy. But he cannot begin to eliminate them as they age. They need to learn to be active as puppies. Since the pups are always growing, it wouldn't hurt to take them for a couple of short walks during the day. The reason I say short walks is because longer walks are more difficult for them, as the animal is still developing. If your puppy doesn't have adequate time outdoors, he can become destructive in the house. If your dog is older and of a high-energy breed, he needs a lot more exercise. It is important to find out what type of dog he has and how much physical activity will benefit him. No matter how old your dog is, he needs to burn fat like the rest of us. Studies show that overweight dogs live 2.5 years less than the average healthy canine. No vaccinations. Young dogs require several vaccinations. I mean the first months of his life. Not doing this can leave them vulnerable to various diseases and viruses. Your dog needs to be protected not only from heartworm but also from diseases like canine hepatitis. This is a contagious viral infection that damages various organs. They should also be on the lookout for canine distemper. This is another virus that affects your dog's respiratory system and gastrointestinal tract. Have you ever heard of kennel cough? This is an infection that occurs as a result of inflammation in your dog's upper respiratory tract. Frequent vaccinations will prevent your dog from contracting these diseases, which will reduce his chances of premature death. Between the first 8 to 18 weeks of life, your dog needs something called DHPP. This is a combination vaccine that prevents 4 different types of viruses: distemper, hepatitis, parainfluenza, and parvovirus. If you're a new dog owner, talk to your vet about what vaccinations you should get and when. Improper dental care. Plain and simple. Keep your dog's teeth clean. This means brushing them regularly. Sounds a bit weird, right? Well, not if you are a responsible dog owner. While it doesn't have to be done every day, the more you clean your dog's teeth, the healthier they will be. Giving your dogs a careful toothbrush will prevent gum disease, bad breath, tooth loss, and pain. It will also prevent bacteria from taking over. Besides brushing your teeth, there are other methods. These include dental wipes, which are rubbed against your dog's teeth to remove plaque. You can also use dental treats. These will contain ingredients that will not only help your pet's teeth but will make their breath smell fresh. Cleaning your teeth only takes a few minutes. If you want your pet to stay longer, this is something to consider. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, leave your comments. I wish you all love, happiness, kindness and a peaceful sky.